of women are out here, getting college degrees, master's degrees. I don't feel like, sex can determine how to build character. Because you have, like I said, a lot of African American men and women who just aren't good people. But I believe if you possess those skills and those morals to, form a strong foundation, it shouldn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to produce, to turn these young boys into citizens who, one, value the importance of giving back, two, respect not only themselves but women, who are proud to not only be men but be African American men, and to, pretty much shape them into the type of man that you would want your daughter to be with. So I don't feel like that's something that can be determined by sex. It's just all about your character.
Right. And now that you've been working with these young men, and I know you're doing a great job, because I've seen it myself. Now that you're working on them, what's the main thing that you think or you observe that they need to work on? Is it like respect for women, respect for themselves? What's the main, attribute that they need to work on to keep building their character as young black men?
Brotherhood. It's I think, at this age, you can expect them to, be children. They're children. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. But if you develop a sense of pride and a sense of camaraderie in them as young boys, they won't fight each other as they get older. You won't have them shooting each other. You won't have them selling the crack cocaine and the drugs to each other as they get older, because they'll realize, this is my brother. I can't do this to my brother. And I think, that's been my biggest thing, because a lot of these children, my son included, do not have siblings. So they, especially older children, don't get that concept. So to have, them be around a group of boys, and for them all to realize, at the end of the day, if I need something, I can call such and such. And to develop those long-lasting friendships and those bonds at an early age is something that I think is very imperative for African American males, to have somebody to lean on. Because a lot of, men, I don't know if you, can vouch for it, a lot of men feel like they don't have anybody they can talk to. They don't feel like they have anybody they can turn to besides their women. And sometimes, men and women, we're different creatures. We don't do things the same way. So to have somebody that understands what you're going through, or somebody that can rationalize like you do, it's a key thing.
Right. Who inspired you historically? Was it like our ancestors, or someone modern day? Who inspired you to do what you're doing now? Anyone in particular?
I'm not gonna say anybody famous, but I grew up in a household with 4 of the siblings. I was the oldest. So just seeing the family dynamics between my mom and my dad, I would have to say, they've done pretty good. Like, to have 5 children, none of them are in jail. All of them, are college educated, besides the youngest 2, and they're going to college next year. And you don't usually see families out there where it's 5 plus kids, 3, and they all have the same mother and father. I never saw my parents argue. My parents are still married to this day. They've been married, I'll be 27 in December. They've been married 28 years.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
this day.
Yeah, 28 years. My parents also instilled the importance of, of spirituality in our life at an early age. My parents were never one of the ones that sang in the choir on the deacon board, but they made sure we were in church. They made sure that we knew how to pray. They made sure we went to vacation Bible school, and I think they helped to shape us, as we became adults and had kids of our own. So I just have to say, I think it was just my upbringing, and knowing that, with me having 3 younger brothers, not one of them are in jail. None of them are doing anything crazy, and I just had to look back and say, what was it that my parents did? What was it that I was exposed to as a child? Which I know, it's different, different time now. But what was it that I was exposed to that kept me from making these bad decisions? I'm not going to say I'm perfect. But what was it that helped my brother, start his own business? What helped him become, a superstar? What is it that shaped us and helped us to, get where we are? And like I said, with my son, he goes to private school, which I'm fortunate enough to have a great job where I can afford to do that, but a lot of our people don't. And honestly, I love his school. He gets exposure to things that in the public school sector, I'm not even just gonna say charter schools, a lot of our boys don't. Who gets to take swimming as a PE class? Who takes lacrosse for a PE class? Who, kids are learning Spanish and they learn Spanish from kindergarten to 5th grade and then learn another language. Smaller classroom sizes. It's just a lot of things that he's exposed to that I feel like, other children would benefit from. Because I honestly noticed like a huge change in him. He went to public school for kindergarten. And, a lot of times when your child is advanced or your child has went into school, already knowing something, a lot of times the teacher doesn't have the resources and or time to really dig into them and help them, so that child ends up getting in trouble because they're bored, or, they just don't perform well because they just don't want to do the work because they feel like they have to know it. So I just felt like, some of the things that he was being exposed to, I wanted to be able to offer to other boys as well without the big price tag.
Last two questions, wrapping up. Any historical figures in the past, whether it's in Africa or here in America through our struggle, that inspired you to do, what you're doing now?
I'm gonna say Dr. Betty Shabazz.
Okay. Malcolm X.
Yeah.
But what about her that inspired?
So the first time I actually heard anything about Dr. Betty Shabazz, I went to a program called Delta Academy, offered by Delta Sigma Theta, Sorority Incorporated.
Here in Durham?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of their national programs, but I went to the Durham Alumni's program, and I want to say I was about 9, I believe, and it was called the Dr. Betty Shabazz Academy. And it was just more so the type of women I was around and the what they instilled in us, kind of similar to Rise, but I mean it was a group of women, and Delta Sigma Theta is known to be a great organization, women that are doing phenomenal things, but I also like the fact that even after just like Curtis King, after her husband died, she didn't let that stagnate her, because at the end of the day he was in the forefront, she was kind of in the in the back, but she was able to keep his mission going. She was able to not only still push his mission forward, but still be a parent, still raise her grandkids. And I don't know if a lot of people have seen the movie Betty and Coretta. It was on Lifetime. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you need to look at it. It's really great. But that movie right there also just spoke volumes about her character. I'm a big person on character. I feel like having fame or fortune doesn't matter if you're not using that platform to better not only yourself but to better our community, more so your community. Because you got to start at home. I mean, I'm all for helping, other states and other nations, but you got to take care of home first. So it's just crazy to me to not take care of your own. And to see her, still uplift women and just the type of person she was overall, and the things I learned while in the Dr. Betty Shabazz Academy kind of, like I said, honestly helped mold me. And some of those same women that mentored me, I still have relationships with to this day. Even, when I got to college, these same women were checking on me, making sure I was going to class. They were making sure that, I wasn't getting tangled up with the wrong people. When I became a parent, some of these same women, came to my baby shower, were the same ones that, said, hey, these are things you need to do, and it's kind of like that extended family thing, and that's what I like. I just like the fact that I love when our people come together. It's one of those things where, how you go to an event or like a concert or whatever, you can always tell the group of people that came together, and it's always so much fun when you do things together as a group. Especially like when they have, the Black August in the park and things like that. I love to see our people just come together and just, for something positive, besides a funeral, besides, somebody having a baby. I just want us to be able to just come together and have a good time. And, because when kids see us coming together, it sparks happiness. Think about how many times you and your wife may have gone on a date or, done something together. It makes your boys smile. It makes them happy. And I feel like our boys have to just see us coming together instead of doing this all the time.
Just backing up what you said, with me being Muslim, I know a lot about Malcolm and his wife and like you said, those two sisters, Dr. Betty Shabazz and Coretta Scott King, they still don't get the credit that they deserve, because there's no way Malcolm and Brother Martin would have been able to do what they did if their wife didn't back them up, if they didn't believe in what they did, and watching and take care of the home. I'm sure when they were out, doing what they did, they didn't have to worry about what was going on at home, because them two sisters was there and they backed them up, I believe, in their mission. And that makes all the difference when you have, your significant other or your better half backing you up in your mission. That makes a big difference. And Betty Shabazz, she was a giant in her own right. She, she didn't necessarily need Malcolm to make her great. She was already great. That's why he chose her. So I definitely understand that. Closing up, anything else you want to explain about the program? Is any outside programs? Are you connected with any outside programs to help you further your program?
So right now we're supposed to be going before the Durham County Board for Juvenile Justice, Delinquency and Prevention. Hopefully becoming one of their pilot programs to receive funding, which will really help. We're working on a connection with a local Boy Scout troop. I think it's at St. Joseph's.
Okay.
Just for people.
St. Joseph's, the Hayti Center.
St. Joseph AME Church.
Oh, okay.
Just for people who may want to get their boys in something else. I'm the type of person there may not be things that I'm necessarily interested in, but I'm never going to shut them out because I don't know what other parents or what my boys may be interested in. So I'm always looking for resources and other things to introduce them to. So yeah, more so our biggest thing this year has been to get the name out, to get the boys out in the community, so that people can see that our boys are doing something positive and that Durham has something good to offer, and that at the end of the day, African American boys are more than just drug dealers. They're more than just college, high school dropouts. They're more than just what the statistics say they are. So that's been our main goal this year.
Changing the perception of our boys and painting a more positive light and showing them, like you said, I like what you said in the beginning, showing them they can be other than basketball and football players. Showing them they can be other than basketball and football players, because that's the perception that mostly we get. And unfortunately, a lot of our boys, because of social media and TV, if all they see is us playing basketball and football, what about being an engineer, a doctor, owning your own business? So I've already seen in your program that you're exposing them to different things and really changing the paradigm and the mindset, saying, basketball and football is fine, but using your brain is the first priority. Where a lot of times it's the other way around, or the only option. Because I work with boys in the school system, and I've done plenty of talks with them, and they'll say, you ask 95% of them, what is it that you want to do? And it's always sports.
I want to go to the NFL. I want to go to the NBA. And they got to get in that mindset that, okay, granted, a lot of people go to the NFL, NBA, but the thing is, what do you do if you tear your ACL? What do you do if you get traded to a team, you get benched, and then become a free agent and nobody picks you back up? You're screwed.
See, they're just looking at, LeBron James cruising through, Kobe Bryant, on and on and on, but they're not given a backup plan. And I used to talk with a young brother. He's actually about your age, but I knew him a couple years earlier, and he told me how he went to a school and he had hurt his leg, and he wasn't able to go back, and he was real good in football, and how it sent him into a deep depression because he really didn't have a backup plan, and it really affected his life because that's all he thought that he could do, and he had his mindset on, I'm going to play football. And I mean, it almost destroyed his life because he went into a depression. Once you get depressed like that, that can lead into drug activity or criminal activity, or if you can't support yourself financially, that's really going to cause some problems. So, what you're doing for these boys, just giving them, just broadening their eyes and exposing them to things that they're capable, because all these boys are capable of being great. It just needs someone to show it to them and expose it to them. So it's great what you're doing. Anything else you want to share? You want to share any information on how boys or parents can get their boys involved in the program? And I'm gonna do what I can to help, with the program.
So if you are interested in getting your son registered, the last day for registration for this year is next Friday. The application and everything has to be sent. You can reach us at riseboys@gmail.com. That's RISE boys BOYS @gmail.com. You can also go to our website, which is riseboys.com. You can also reach me by phone at 984-888-2036. And if you send an email, please put your name in the email and a contact number so that I can call you. I can send out, like I said, applications and information by email or fax, but the application deadline is next Friday. It has to be in by next Friday in order for your child to enroll. If you can't get it in by next Friday, the registration, next active registration will open again December 1st through December 31st. That is the only time. And then your boys will be enrolled next year, starting in January.
Great. And RISE stands for again?
Realizing Inspiration Serves Everyone.
All right. Where'd you come up with that?
So honestly, I came up with the word RISE first. Like I said, okay, now I need something to go for those letters. And I was like, okay, I started letter by letter. And I was like, okay, I made a list of R words. Respect, no, didn't like that. And I just kept going until I could come up with something that sounded good for each letter.
Right.
And that was pretty much it.
All right. Well, it's significant is what we need. So once again, this is the Hour of Power with Shareef Hamid and with our special guest, Demetrice Via with RISE. Any black boys, especially in this area, definitely check this sister out. My boys are a part of it, and I plan on to continue to see what I can do to help these boys rise and be successful. So go to the link, subscribe, and share. This is what we're doing. We're reaching out to as many people as we can to lift the mind, bodies, and soul of our people. So I leave everyone in peace as I came. Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Shareef with the Hour of Power. Thank you.